Welcome to this explainer. Okay, today we're looking at something that is literally changing the game for how educational institutions operate. We're talking about taking that mountain of raw, everyday school data and transforming it into real, actionable, strategic insights. I mean, if you're an educator or an administrator, you already know your school generates a massive amount of information every single day. But what are we actually doing with it? Well, that's exactly what we're going to figure out right now. Okay, let's dive into this. Can a single educational decision completely change a student's future? Honestly, the short answer is absolutely yes. But the real question we need to ask is, how are those decisions being made in the first place? In an environment that leans so heavily on measurable results, data isn't just some byproduct of learning anymore. It's really become the true foundation of academic success. The stakes here are incredibly high. Guesswork simply doesn't cut it when a student starts slipping through the cracks in November and, nobody notices until May. We need a way to see the full picture, actively and accurately. So to get a handle on all of this, here's our roadmap for today. We're going to start by looking at the data-driven education shift, define what these tracking systems actually are, and then look at how we can track metrics way beyond just simple grades. After that, we'll see how this empowers teachers, explore smart reporting, and finally, give you a quick guide on choosing your ideal system. All right, let's kick things off with Section 1, the data-driven education shift. And this brilliantly illustrates the core shift we're talking about here. On one side, you've got traditional management. This is that outdated method of just logging past events, right? Recording grades at the end of a term, tracking attendance after the fact. It's entirely reactive. You're essentially driving forward while only looking in the rearview mirror. But on the other side, we have data-driven management. This is a continuous, active process. It allows for early detection of issues and rapid real-time intervention. So instead of just documenting what already happened, you're actively steering a student's future. Moving right along to Section 2, what are tracking systems? So a student performance tracking system is basically an integrated digital framework designed to collect and analyze student data. We're talking grades, attendance, engagement, academic behavior, the whole shebang, all to support really accurate educational decisions. Think of this system as a digital compass. It takes all those scattered data points flying around a school and points administrators and educators in the exact right direction, helping them navigate each individual student's academic trajectory with total precision. When a school actually adopts this tech, the benefits are just transformative, mainly because it pulls daily operations out of chaos and into clarity. Imagine being able to detect academic decline in its very earliest stages. You're turning a minor struggle into a quick fix rather than waiting for it to become a major crisis. And this is exactly what empowers teachers to build structured, highly specific intervention plans. By relying on accurate data, it massively improves administrative decision accuracy and raises overall success rates. Plus, it actively works to reduce educational gaps between students, promoting real equity. And on top of all that, it builds stronger trust by enhancing transparency with parents, who can finally see exactly how their kid is progressing day by day. That brings us to Section 3, tracking beyond just grades. Now, what's really interesting about this breakdown is that modern assessment has evolved into 3 distinct layers of student data. It's just not about academics anymore. I mean, yes, obviously we track academic data, your detailed test, assignment, and project grades, to analyze subject-specific strengths and weaknesses. But we layer that with behavioral data like attendance and discipline indicators to understand how non-academic factors directly impact achievement. And finally, we look at engagement. This measures class interaction and digital platform participation. When you combine all 3 of these categories together, you get this deeply comprehensive, holistic understanding of exactly where a student stands and how they learn best. Up next, Section 4, empowering teachers with insights. Let's look at how this builds a completely new workflow for educators, essentially turning them from traditional lecturers into highly responsive academic coaches. Imagine a teacher's day actually guided by real-time data. Step 1, analyze results. Instead of guessing, the teacher instantly sees that, hey, these 5 students specifically misunderstood fractions. Step 2, adjust strategies. They can now run a targeted 10-minute remedial group on fractions, rather than wasting time re-explaining the entire lesson to the whole class. Step 3, measure performance. They can immediately check if that new strategy actually worked for those 5 kids. And Step 4, assign custom activities. The teacher addresses individual differences, grouping students by their actual level of understanding, which ultimately just skyrockets student confidence and motivation across the entire room. Let's roll into Section 5, smart reporting and analytics. This right here is the engine that transforms those traditional clunky spreadsheets into a clear baseline for action. We are talking about highly customizable real-time reports, tailored perfectly by grade and subject. You get these interactive dashboards that visually display key performance indicators so you can literally understand complex results at a single glance. It performs continuous trend analysis over time, spotting educational gaps way before they widen. Think about what this means in practice, right? Early warnings triggered by risk indicators mean you can jump in and help a student weeks before an official parent-teacher conference even happens. It just makes it remarkably easy to present crystal clear, measurable results to school management and, of course, to families.
Finally, Section 6, choosing your ideal system.
You can kind of consider this your rapid-fire buyer's checklist if you're an educational decision maker looking at a long-term strategic investment. First up, pinpoint your actual school needs. Are you focusing mostly on performance tracking, report management, or early intervention? The tool absolutely must link directly to your specific goals. Once that's settled, you've got to evaluate ease of use. If the interface is frustrating or unclear, teachers simply won't adopt it. It's that simple. From there, check those analytical reports to ensure they're highly customizable and accurately reflect measurable data. And above all else, you absolutely must review the data security and privacy standards to protect your students' information.
To give you a practical, objective example of what this looks like in the real world, let's take a quick look at Skolera. A platform like Skolera goes way beyond mere performance tracking to become a fully integrated academic ecosystem. It handles curriculum planning, allows teachers to easily develop multimedia content, facilitates seamless communication between teachers and students, and it even includes advanced test creation with 7 different question types to ensure fair assessment. It really just demonstrates how a system can successfully link deep data collection directly to everyday educational operations. Now, administrators carry a massive responsibility, and you need to know that stepping into a data-driven ecosystem doesn't mean exposing sensitive information. So the crucial point is that modern systems utilize advanced security architecture. We're talking state-of-the-art encryption technologies, strict role-based access management so only authorized personnel see specific data, and regular backup systems to ensure absolute data integrity. Student privacy isn't just some afterthought, it is strictly protected at every single level. Which brings us to our final thought for this explainer. I want you to look at your current operations and ask yourself this. Are you just recording your students' past, or are you actively securing their future? In a landscape where technology literally allows us to detect, intervene, and guide with unprecedented accuracy, sticking to the old ways is just no longer an option. Embracing a data-driven tracking system isn't merely an administrative upgrade, it's a fundamental commitment to your students' success. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope this deep dive has left you eager to harness the true power of your school's data.